Jeff Idelson, president of the Baseball Hall of Fame with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. You're home for New York sports. And, Jeff, you guys got a big weekend coming up this weekend, July 24th to July 27th. 4 inductees this weekend. What are the preparations like? How long do you prepare for a weekend like this one?
It's really a year in the making, guys. I mean, we start the day after. So next Monday, we'll start to debrief and think about 2016. At this point, it's just about making sure all of the final touches are ready as the weekend is right on the horizon.
Jeff, is it too late for me to put in a petition to not put Pedro Martinez in?
What would be your reason?
I'm a Yankee fan.
We love Yankee fans in Cooperstown, but Pedro earned his stripes. He's the other kind of stripes, so he'll be here.
Fine.
Jeff Idelson, president of the Baseball Hall of Fame with Armen Levack. Now, Jeff, last year, obviously, it was a very large crowd that you guys had. This year with Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, Craig Biggio. What kind of crowd are you expecting?
We're expecting a really good crowd. It's a lot of star power like last year. Last year you had the wild card of Joe Torre and the crowd he'd bring from New York. The wild card this year is the amount of Dominicans that'll come for Pedro. He's so beloved in the Dominican Republic as only the second guy other than Juan Marichal from that country to earn election, and he's adored in Boston. So we're expecting a good crowd. It'll be somewhat, we think, similar to last year's, but the weather will be the deciding factor. As long as we have a nice weekend, I think it'll be robust.
Well, yeah, and you do have the New York tie-in. Randy spent time as a Yankee, Pedro as a Met, so the fans could come in droves for that as well as the nationality.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about Randy being in New York, he's our only 300-game winner in the group. You have John Smoltz, who will bring back some of the Braves fans who came last year for Mad Dog and Tom Glavine and Bobby Cox. And then Craig Biggio grew up on the island, and he went to Seton Hall, and it seems that all of Texas is coming out for him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some of Jersey and the island as well.
Wow, that's great stuff. This weekend is Hall of Fame induction weekend at Cooperstown. President of the Hall of Fame, Jeff Idelson with Armen Levack at Hall of Fame Prez on Twitter. And Prez, Prez, I like that. A little slang in the Twitter title. I like that. I respect that. Now, Prez, this weekend's events, what should we expect?
There's a lot going on, and if you're coming down from the Cap region, most of it is open to the public and free of charge. We kick things off today when Ozzie Smith does a clinic along with Greg Maddox and Andre Dawson on the fun of baseball. That's a fundraiser for our Hall of Fame education program. Since we are a museum, we do rely on donations. Saturday afternoon, you have the awards presentation at Doubleday Field, where Tom Gage, the writer from Detroit, Dick Enberg, the great commentator for NBC and CBS, who's the voice of the Padres, Tony Clark, head of the Players Union, will be here to talk about the 45th anniversary of Curt Flood sitting out the 1970 season and the advent of free agency. And we have Navy Secretary Ray Mabus coming to talk about the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II and baseball's role there. All 4 of those anniversaries and gentlemen will be saluted at 4:30 at Doubleday Field in Cooperstown, open to the public, free of charge. Right after that event, parade right down Main Street, all the Hall of Famers in the backs of Ford F-150 pickup trucks so that you can get a clear look at them and have a chance to have a picture that you can take with those guys. A lot of fun with the parade. And then, of course, the ceremony on Sundays at 1:30 at the Clark Sports Center just outside of Cooperstown, a short walk from downtown, again open and free of charge to the public. So lots of events all weekend long, most of them free. If you love baseball, you haven't been here, even if you have, it's not a far drive from the Cap region.
Jeff, I mean, I love Cooperstown for both reasons. I mean, the Baseball Hall of Fame is one of my favorite places to go, and the main drag in Cooperstown is almost like time travel. It's got that quaintness of an old school village, a neighborhood, a town, but at the same time, it holds all of this awesomeness. Are you guys already concerned about Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter? Like, are you ready for what kind of crowd is going to descend upon you for those two?
You did say you were a Yankee fan, right?
Die hard, yeah. A little bit.
Never would have guessed it.
It's hard to tell.
I work for the Yankees, so they have a place in my heart many, many years ago. But every induction weekend has a big crowd. In 2007, Cal Ripken and Tony Gwynn brought 82,000 people to our town of 1,800. So yeah, we know that in 2019, rather, with Mariano, and 2020 with Derek, the numbers will be robust, and we'll be prepared. The Village band's together really well. And Cooperstown is, you're right, it's a quaint little village. The great thing isn't necessarily only the 4 Hall of Famers coming back this year, but the 50-plus others who will be on hand to welcome them.
Jeff Idelson, president of the Baseball Hall of Fame. And Jeff, you mentioned that you worked for the Yankees, the club's director of media relations and publicity from 89 to 93. When you look at this Yankees team right now, it's unlike any team we've ever seen before, right? I mean, the TV ratings are down a little bit. They don't have that face. They don't have that pizzazz that we've seen from Yankees teams in the past.
Well, they're also a little bit of an underdog, which is very rare for them. I mean, they were totally underdogs when I was there because we were gutting and rebuilding in that era with Gene Michael as our general manager. But coming into the season, there were high expectations for the Mets, and the Mets haven't failed. They've been really, really good, and they have a lot to be excited about. But I don't think anybody thought the Yankees would be doing much of anything. So, as an underdog, which is rare, the Yankees have succeeded and done well, and are right up there at the top in terms of the division lead.
Jeff, I got to do this to you, and I apologize in advance, but Commissioner Manfred is talking to Pete Rose. What is the Hall's feeling on this? Are you guys just waiting for your opportunity to hear the vote? Because obviously until he's brought back to baseball, you guys can't even vote on him. What is the Hall's stance on Pete Rose?
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, he's a guy that obviously has an indelible place in baseball history for a number of reasons. But when you think of his on-the-field accomplishments, they're substantial, and that's the reason 20 of his artifacts from his career are on display in Cooperstown. So regardless of what Commissioner Manfred decides, Pete will always have a spot inside the museum in Cooperstown. Commissioner Manfred made a point of saying at the baseball writers meeting at Cincinnati that I was at that he wasn't going to be talking to Pete until sometime later in the fall, and he didn't even have a date in mind. So when that occurs, we will watch with a close eye to see how the commissioner feels about things. Right now, he's on baseball's permanent ineligible list, which means he can't be a candidate for election. And if things change, then we'll be prepared.
Jeff Idelson, president of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Jeff, how do you handle the steroid PED era? There are guys that have the stats to be in the Hall of Fame, but most likely will never be in the Hall of Fame because of that dark cloud over them. Is it the same stance on Pete Rose?
Well, the difference is that the baseball writers have had a chance to evaluate candidates from this area that involve steroids, and they've spoken loud and clearly. I think that if you used or heavily are suspected of having used, you don't deserve a plaque in Cooperstown, and that's the writers' prerogative. We're comfortable with however they decide. If they decided these guys belonged in Cooperstown, we'd embrace it. The fact that they don't, we're fine with that as well. And much like Pete Rose, artifacts from some of these players or all of these players are on display in the Hall of Fame because they were accolades and records that were set in the course of regular season action. And as a history museum, we're not here in Cooperstown to refute history or change its course, but to present it and let the fans decide how they feel about it. If players from this era don't earn election to the Hall of Fame, it's a social commentary on how we feel about steroids at this time and in this time and at this place, but it doesn't preclude their election down the line. So it's a tricky subject. The writers have been diligent, I think, in really voting their conscience and being true to themselves, and time will tell whether or not they ever have plaques.
Prez, I got one more thing for you. Now, I've been in the back. I put the white gloves on. I've held Babe Ruth's jersey, Ted Williams' bat. Texas boy over here, Armen, has never been in the back. He's never seen the great stuff up close.
Howdy.
Can we maybe smuggle him in?
Oh, wow.
I don't think we have to smuggle Armen in. I think when you're ready to come on over to Coop, Armen, we'll roll out the carpet and give you a chance to get up close and personal with some of your favorites from Texas, whether they be Nolan Ryan or someone else.
Prez, I appreciate that. Juan Gonzalez is near and close to my heart as well. Smuggle me in, Levack. What am I, an illegal immigrant? What was that?
I mean, I wouldn't want to besmirch illegal immigrants by saying you're one of them.
President of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Jeff Idelson with Armen and Levack. I'm pretty sure we've wasted enough of his time today. Hey, Prez, thank you so much. We're looking forward to this weekend's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's going to be special once again. If we're not there, we'll be watching on TV here in the Capital Region as well. I know we have a lot of people in the Capital Region every single year that make it out there. Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, Craig Biggio. This is their weekend and yours as well, Prez. So enjoy it. Congratulations on another successful year, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds like a plan, gentlemen. Always nice to be with you. Look forward to seeing you in Cooperstown, and there'll be no smuggling.